Hello Gemini, how you doing? Welcome to your energy tarot reading here on the Astroflower, going from the 11th through to the 17th of November. Hope you're doing well. You will find a link in the description below according to the Zoom Room Energy Tarot 2025 reading, which we're going to be doing for Gemini. If you want to be part of that, ask a question and pull some cards on that question. You're going to have to sort of book your place, first come, first serve, as it were, sort of scenario. It'd be a good time to be had by all. We're going to be going into, obviously, today, the energies, what is coming through, what the sort of energies will be like for this coming week, as far as I can see, and how they're going to be affecting the elements within your Astroflower. Seeing what petals and what cards they're going to be affecting in particular. But in the meantime, we're going to be putting up some answers from the Astroflower as she comes into place, and also doing some tarots as well. So let's just jump into that without further ado. Let's just see what's going on for you at the moment. In the relationship side, it's like there's a desire from within you for stability, for desire to stop having the emotions that go from one extreme to another, to have a little bit more consistency within you. And I think the energy will serve you well for that this week, actually, coming this week. And I think you'll get your desires in regards to your relationship side. On your financial side, a lot of stuff going on behind the surface. So basically, there's a lot of work that seems to be you're engaged in sort of, let's say, you're starting a new business. It's sorting out all the contracts, getting all the paperwork in place and everything like that. If you're doing a personal project, it's renovating a car or a house or whatever, going through the process of sort of saying, I need this amount of this item here, and getting things sorted out. There seems to be a lot of, it seems to be very, very busy here. If you're looking for a job or starting a business, that's also the similar sort of situation going on there, is where you're really sort of working on the underground, the background of what you want to experience in your sort of like financial sort of world. Very busy. You seem to be very busy. And maybe this is helping you to get a bit of stability within the relationship side of life. Two of Cups. I think this is a case of you, it's almost as if like the Two of Cups here for you, it's a beautiful energy. And I think it's good energy as well. I think what's happening here is you're stabilizing the ship. As I said, for the emotional sort of side, having the emotions that go sort of from one side to another. I think that is coming to an end, where you're starting to sort of take command of your financial side of life, which then brings stability within your relationship side or your emotional side of life, which allows you to get that steady ship and really start working on a plan going for the future. Let's just see what's going on the relationship side. It's opening up your emotions on your karmic path. If you want, it's like you've got a box of chocolates and you don't want to open them because, you'll have to finish them. And it's like sort of kind of go, well, I'll hold off till there's more other people around. No. Open them up. Start exploring the chocolates within your life. What was that film out of? That was some film. It was out of some sort of film. Forrest Gump, wasn't it? And something like that. Life's like a box of chocolates. It's a little bit like that. You need to open up. The karmic path is asking you to open up the emotional side of life. And that could be very much on a personal level. It could be a spiritual path that you're opening up and stuff like that. On your connection to the universe and the outside, you're taking on a lot less from the outside. a lot less stress and strains. You don't have to try so hard to connect with people. There seems to be a lot more quality rather than quantity coming into your life this week as well. And in your past self plays into this. And I think it's also the past has been a little bit rocky for you, a little bit sort of, little bit extremes, going from one extreme to another. That's what it feels like. And in the future self, there's a lot of food for thought. There's a lot of possibilities, and very tasty possibilities for you. But I think you're examining them. I think it feels like you're studying the ship so you can see clearly the future that's coming out of it all. What's the lessons that come out of this week here? No, yeah, nothing ventured, nothing gained. You never. It's like I was talking to someone today. I had a healing session this morning, and I was explaining to the person about exploring their emotions. And sort of like it's like walking into an ice cream shop, and until you've started tasting some of them, the ice creams, you're not going to know which ice creams you want and which ones you like and don't like. If you've never tasted ice cream before, that is. And this is your first time in an ice cream shop, first time with ice cream, kind of go, well, I don't know what ice cream tastes like. Give me a taste of a few things, and then it will give me an idea, and I can then really go into it. And I think this is what you need to do with the box of chocolates. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. You've got to taste it to believe it. So I think you do need to open your emotions at the moment. It's your karmic path. You get the Six of Cups. This is a bit of a reflection as well. Of what life has been like. You know how good it can be, and you know how difficult it can be. Like everybody in life, we have that yin and yang side of life. And here is sort of kind of saying to yourself, okay, I know this is where you can work on the things you know. You know what you've lived so far has actually given you pleasure. And if you know what actually has given you pleasure in the past, there's a good chance it's going to give you pleasure in the future. And it could be down to activities or the way of being with another person or with the people that are around you. And if you recognize that some things in the past didn't really come up to scratch, didn't make you feel good. So now you're in a position where you can see that in the past and see what really gets good for you. On your connection to the universe, quality rather than quantity. This is possible here. Like you got the Ace of Cups and the Two of Cups as well on your relationship side. And this could be you sort of like getting yourself in line. It's like everybody says, you can't fall in love with someone else until you love yourself. And I think this is what is the situation for you. And loving yourself, all the good and the bad, loving yourself for what you are, will open doors and love to other people that are around you. In your past, you've had the Empress card here. Well, I said rocky times and stuff like that. I think you had to carry a lot emotionally. Now, the thing is with the Empress card here, she rules her empire through her emotions. And it could be a case that you never really explored your emotions in the past. You were this stable sort of, like the Earth and the solar system, it just keeps turning. It just keeps going round and round and round. And I think this is where maybe this is what the past has been a little bit like. And it has made maybe a little bit rocky for you because you've had to put up with a lot of stuff. And in your future self, you get the Three of Swords. Dealing with that inner pain. As I said, I thought it was really quite bright for you. And maybe your future self is to fall in love with yourself. You need a bit of stability within your ship. And it may be a case of like you're in a relationship that in order for you to be good, that relationship may not need to carry on. But for the majority of you, I think it's a case here of confronting the things that didn't bring joy into your life. That's what your karmic path is all about. Engaging with the joyous, the things that you didn't bring. As I said, there's things in your life that you would have done, and you didn't get the results. And I think that's the pain you need to go through, to examine that and kind of accept your part of the responsibility of that situation, and then don't accept the other parts of the responsibility where you're not responsible. And I think it's like letting go of that Three of Swords. That is it's your karmic path to do that, and it's according to something that's gone in the past. I think I don't necessarily think it's mainly here and now, and it could well be for some of you. As I said, some of you it could be the end of the road for a relationship. We all go through it from time to time, and it's very painful, but you will be that phoenix that rises from the ashes, as it were. And in your future, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Leap of faith. I think the leap of faith needs to be, you need to open up, and that's going to change that enormously, that card. Enormously. And I think that's going to give you a lot of stability by looking at it sort of like seriously, as it were, and opening up to emotions that you know you have within you, that it's okay to have. And as much as being upset, as much as being happy. Let's have a look on the financial sort of side. Karmic path here. When you start a business, part of the joy of starting the business is organizing, of putting into place that plan. And that's what I feel like your karmic path is doing here, is sort of saying, right, let's put this plan into action in a way, by sort of dealing with all the sort of like the groundwork stuff. The connection to the universe is playing in here, only connecting with things that feel right for you. You are the complete and utter governance of your destination, and if it feels right for you, it's going to be a lot easier to put it all into place. In the past self, I think you've done a lot for other people, working for other people and etc. I think you've given your fair share, and it's now time to give it to you. What's in your future self? Your future self is really beautiful. It's got very good construction there, something that's very solid, that's going to give you a very sort of not confidence, but you're going to get that as well, but sort of a good foundation, good solid foundation. It's not necessarily abundance, but it's certainly security. That's the word I'm looking for. It's going to give you, it's something that you can drive on with your heart's desire, that's going to also provide security for you. That's where I'm getting to. But it has to be in combination with that joyous side of it all. What's the lessons that come out of this week? No time like the present. Don't wait until tomorrow to do it. To start organising, to start implementing, to start getting it all into action, as it were. On your karmic path, you have the Knight of Wands. Yeah, getting it into action here. Being a bit more spontaneous about the situation. Being a bit more engaged with those sort of passions, I think, within life. There's a real driving point. It's putting into place this mission that you're going on in your life, and it's a driving force behind you, and that's going to give you the optimism and also the stability. And this is where you're going to stabilize the boat in order to go after that, to clear up that side of things. In your connection to the universe, it's what I said, it's pointing towards the Two of Cups. I'm sort of saying, if it causes you stress and strain, I wouldn't really go into it at the moment. It's not worth it. It's only investigate and explore the things that make you feel good. So if you like cycling and you've been thinking about starting a bicycle shop, then, it's a good idea, because it's one of your passions. But if you like cycling and then you sort of like, think, maybe I could do a boat, I could do a shop selling building material. And it's just like kind of going, hang on a second, that's not in alignment with what you enjoy. And I think this is where you got to, you be very conscious about your stress and strains in life. On your past self, you get the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, I think you've done a lot. I think you've gained a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, a lot of understanding, maybe a lot of sort of qualifications. But how is it serving you? This is it. And I think this is where you've got to look to the past and see how better to serve yourself going forward. In your future self, you get the Four of Cups. Distilling all of this into one cup can take time. And it may not be going as quickly as you want it to go because of the outside world. It's almost as if like you have to wait around on the outside world. This is why preparing is key, and I think you're very, very good at that, Gemini. Once you start doing that, that's when you're going to get the results. And out the front, you get the Four of Wands. 2 fours down that side there. I was wondering if there was two more threes down that side, but there's not. There's 2 fours down this side. Here you get the Four of Wands. So this is all about putting into action. There's no time like now. It's getting in your plan and putting it into action, basically. And I think this is whatever stage you are at the plan, even if it's opening the doors of the shop, or working out the rent and the finances for the shop, regardless of what stage you are in your project or in your career path, it's no time like the present to get involved in it. And I would allow your determination and your mental energy to go into this sort of side here, and allow this to be a lot freer, so then you can really deal with that sort of scenario that I think is connected to your past, so it's never longer there in your life. Okay, let's just get on and see how the elements are affecting this. Let's see what the messages are coming in from the energy and how it's affecting your elements and your petals and these cards in your reading. So here you have the sun from last week. There's a few coronal holes that are going out of view. There's these 2 big puppies that have come through this week. They're probably around about this section now as we speak. But there is more coronal holes that are coming in the back. Now that's a lot of earth energy going on, a lot of things to do with earthquake. And I did put it in the energy update. If you haven't seen that, you'll find that on our channel. So I think the earth energy is going to be the bulk energy that's coming through at the moment in this early part of the week. I think it will change by the end of the week, because I think there's going to be some more sort of eruptions from the solar flares, from the sunspots that are being very squashed into the equator zone, because we're coming to the end of the height of the 2025 solar cycle. And then therefore corona holes are going to be much more important. But the transitional energy between the two is that filament energy. And there's lots of filament energies going on, and they're becoming very active, not necessarily in the exploding sort of particles in our direction, in the direction of the earth, but in the energy that they sculpt the earth. So basically, if you imagine you've got a block of clay there and you've got a tool that sculpts that earth, it's not necessarily the earth that is doing the sculpting, although that's the main bulk of the thing. It's the little tool that you're using on one side, which gives all the fine detail to that block of earth energy. And that fire and that water seems to be a major player, really, although as much as small as it is a major player in sculpting the energies as we go forward. Here is these sunspots that we were pointing at earlier on. There's 2 in particular. There's one here and there's one here. And then there's this one main one that goes off in the center here. Now, they are connected through filament energies, which we can see. There's that coronal hole that's gradually moving it through the earth-facing part. But in these eruptions, you can see the connection between the two. Now, the filament energy is water energy, but look at this fire that comes down the filament energy. Here it goes here, and it runs down there, and here we go, runs down there. We'll come there in a second. Runs down there and goes into that, there it is there, and goes into that solar flare that was happening in this one and this one. But no ejector came off. And it's created absolutely nothing in the way of complications for the magnetic field. Geomagnetic storms have been very minor. We've had equivalent of a storm, if that, more like a gale I'd say, than anything else, than a storm. It's only been a G3, so it's nothing really to shout about. Nothing really sort of changing in that sort of respect. But it's that water and fire element that we're going to be looking at in particular within your flower. So let's just bring up your flower and we're going to pull some cards onto that. So let's just have a look at that fire. Now, you have a lot of fire within you. You actually have more fire than you do air. You, in the middle, you have no air at all. And that's the main energy at the moment that's going through the earth. It's being, the bulk energy has been air. It's now been taken over by the earth. So that bulk energy there has been really playing on you here and now, how you engage with the world around you. And this is where we're talking about bringing a bit of stability to the boat, as it were. You do have that fixed earth that comes through you here and comes all around your center being, and then sort of goes through your future self and your connection to the here and now on your financial side. And that's that stability that I think you're looking to do. And it's getting in place that fixed earth at the top there of building and doing your projects and actually getting on and doing, turning it into action from the Four of Cups into the Four of Wands. I think that's the main part that's playing in it. Now, we are looking at water and fire connection, and this is where we see that water and fire connection. We have that cardinal fire coming in from Aries and that cardinal water that comes in from Cancer within your sign, and it's that crossing point. It's where your karmic path is pointing at the moment. So I'm going to pull some cards on that energy that's coming through this section here, which I think will be very important. But I'm also going to pull on the fixed earth that's going through you in this section there. So let's just pull your cards back up and see what the messages that are coming in from the energies. We're going to start with that fixed earth that runs round the Six of Cups, goes round the Two of Cups, and then goes down at the base of the Four of Wands and the Four of Cups. Let's just see what the message is. What's the message on your karmic path? Open up your emotions, start offering them out there, tasting those chocolates. As I said earlier on, that goes with the Six of Cups, totally within that energy of opening up and exploring your emotions, so it brings stability back into your life. What's this Four of Two of Cups? How's that? Yeah, look at that Justice card. That gives you a real balanced view to have a good look at that, to get it out of your life for good. And so you've no longer got that internal pain within you. And it could be a very spiritual thing. As I said, I don't think for the majority of you, I don't think it's a separation of relationships at all. I think it's much more of a separation from an old way of being in you, which could be a bit painful to deal with, very personal to deal with. Let's just see how this sort of fixed earth plays out in your financial side. Look at that Four of Pentacles. You've now got 3 fours out the top there, and this is your ultimate goal. That's where you want to be getting to. Okay, so that's the celebration, marriage card, new job, new business, and so forth. This is where you're coming from, waiting around, being a little bit patient and stuff like that. But the Four of Pentacles is about, some people say holding on too tightly. Personally, for me, I think it's about sort of like not giving away your value too easily. Yeah, you can be saying it's holding on too tightly, but also I think you're being very shrewd in the way in which you spend your time, effort and money. And this is what I was talking about, sort of, there's no point doing, if you're fascinated with bicycles, there's no point doing a sailing or a yachting shop or doing a DIY shop. No, do a bicycle shop. You'll enjoy it so much more. And that's what the Four of Pentacles is all about. Let's just see what's going on that crossing point here. I'd like to get a couple of things. You get the Four of Cups. I think a Five of Cups, sorry. This Five of Cups, I think, is feeding that Four of Cups. I think you're sort of like, you've come to the end of what you're doing or how you're running life at the moment within your business or your projects and stuff like that. And there's some things that, didn't really work. But there's also, on the back end of it, is the Two of Cups. And that's what's bringing the balance back into your life. It's just recognizing, that what doesn't work for you. And usually it comes out of that Nine of Swords, that stress that you sort of create in your life. And this is where you should be at one with your emotions. This is what it's trying to do. If you follow those Two of Cups, you will end up with the King of Cups. Now, the King of Cups is obviously a beautiful, stable energy that sort of knows how to convert his emotions into reality in life. And I think that's what you should be doing on your financial sort of side. There you go, Gemini. Thanking you very much for being here. Hope you get the best out of these readings. Don't forget about the energy update. Also, the link that's in the description for the Zoom Room 2025 energy tarot reading. If you want to be part of that, ask questions and so forth, you'll have to book up on the link in the description. I will see you there for that. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.